Well, hun, are you ready?
All set, my love.
Okay.
Please envelop this entity so completely in love that all needs, wants, and desires are chosen.
And greetings.
Greetings, wonders.
Greetings, Maggie.
Would you please go to whom, to where, and to when you are directed? Would you please locate your facilitator, Maggie McGuffin Cadet, on January 10th, 2007?
Yes, we have you.
We are gathered here at 8361 11th Line, our number 2 in the town of Thornton in the province of Ontario, to do a reading for the Wonders Hour radio show. May we begin?
Please.
Thank you. Wonders, today we have questions from our listeners.
Good for you.
Yes. And the first one here is, when we die and go through the process of looking back, what is the purpose behind it?
It is to reintegrate all the awarenesses you have gained throughout your existence. When you incarnate, your soul essence extends itself into a consciousness called you. And in this consciousness, of course, it has free will and free choice. Soul essence cannot interfere, do you see? It can suggest, it can encourage, it could even guide, but it still cannot interfere. And so you have free will and free choice, and as a result of this, you choose certain experiences, you make certain choices, you move from one choice to another choice in a certain direction, in a certain methodology or technique, and the resultant is you've gained a great deal of knowledge from all of this, a great deal of awareness. So the awarenesses that you've gained from your existence must be reintegrated with soul essence, so that soul essence can, in and of itself, expand, and in the expansion process, perceive whether it has a desire to choose to incarnate again. Do you think? And so the process is imperative for the growth of soul essence.
And wonders, how do we choose the next life?
It's not that you choose. You're gone.
Oh, okay.
You're out of there.
All right.
The ego personality that was created no longer exists, but it is now a part of soul essence. Do you see? So your ego personality, that which you perceive yourself to be now, reintegrates with soul essence, becomes one with soul essence, and it is soul essence that chooses. And soul essence chooses, as we did say, based on a perception of need in some cases, depending on the soul essence level, and certainly choice. Do you?
Yes.
To explore, to experience something. And so it chooses, again, circumstances of incarnation that lead it to perceive that the desire for exploration would be satisfied. Again, there's judgment involved in that. Do you think? So it isn't always that it occurs because, of course, once you're incarnated, the ego personality is created. Now free will and free choice of the ego personality comes into play. Do you think?
Yes. I have a question, wonders, about that. For ego personality, is it similar to soul essence each time? I'm meaning, when you reincarnate, would your ego personality be somewhat similar to your soul essence? I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, but no.
Okay.
It's not. You see, your soul essence is much broader, much deeper than your ego personality. Your ego personality is a very limited perspective. Do you think? Now, it requires conscious choice by the ego personality to choose to deepen and broaden itself to reflect a perception similar to soul essence. Do you think? You never can reflect the actuality of soul essence, at least not yet. It can be done consciously, but a great deal of choice must be made. And we don't see anyone in humanity at this point choosing it completely. Do you see? Even the Nazarene did not choose completely to reflect the soul essence. Do you see?
Yeah, I see.
So it is simply a case of choosing to explore based on the awarenesses that soul essence has. Now, if you as an ego personality choose to connect to soul essence and remain connected to that awareness, then a great deal of the deep, broad awareness of soul essence can filter through to you and you can choose it. Again, freely. Do you think? You have free will and free choice. Do you see how it works now?
Yes. And then if you wanted to experience something in one lifetime where you were a murderer and the next lifetime where you were say something like Mother Teresa, that would make the ego personality very different. It would
Of
be just
course.
an experience then, wouldn't it?
Exactly. In one, you could be Jack the Ripper,
Yeah.
the other Mother Teresa. You see? One male, one female. You see?
Yes.
But again, it's the ego personality that has made choices that explore the experience in that fashion. Jack the Ripper's ego personality explored fear, explored a great deal of angst, a great deal of anger, a great deal of insecurity, and rage, in fact. And as a result, used it to physically harm others. Do you see? Mother Teresa used fear, angst, some rage, but used it to explore assisting others. Do you think?
And that could conceivably come from the same soul essence, those
Absolutely.
incarnations. Wow, interesting.
Fascinating, isn't it?
It is. And a continuation of this question is, after having looked back to so many lifetimes of ignoring our brilliance, why do we come back to this world and promptly start the same madness again?
Because you have free will and free choice. You see, it's like, see it from this perspective. You're incarnating. Here you are, ego personality created. Now, you're handed a limitless opportunity to explore. There are no limits when you're created as an ego personality. But the very first thing you do, of course, is you measure yourself against that limitlessness and find yourself lacking, and the resultant is you now start to create limits around you to reflect who you are. Do you think? Now, based on those limits, you then decide this choice or that choice. Now, it's like being given a limitless gift, and you decide you only want part of it. Do you see? Now, the nice thing about it is you're not forced to take the gift. You're not forced to take the limitlessness, are you?
Right.
Because then it wouldn't be limitless, would it? So because you're not forced, you have free will and free choice, you can explore anything you want as you choose. And of course, you choose based on your illusions, your judgments, your insufficiencies, perceived insufficiencies. Do you see? So the resultant is you now create an existence that is reflective of all of those limits and judgments and perceived insufficiencies. Do you see?
Yes. Wonders, is this decided then? Can we choose before incarnation what it is that we would perhaps like to learn?
You
Or,
choose the opportunity.
ah,
You incarnate, for example, and let's say, for example, you incarnate in a family that has a piano. In another lifetime, you were Mozart. Well, there you go. You have the piano. The opportunity is there. Do you see? It's not that you would actually look at your family and say, by the way, do they have a piano? I'm not going to incarnate in that, or I am. That's not how Soul Essence looks at it. Soul Essence looks at the energy. Is there an energy of encouragement? Is there an energy of a desire to explore certain musical talents, for example? Do you see? Amongst the parents. And Soul Essence would say, here's an opportunity to explore musical talents. Do you see? Great. And we're using the case of the piano as simply a very limited, humorous example. But let's just say that there was a piano. You incarnate, you've got this piano. You were Mozart in another life. Well, now there you are. You're an 8-month-old infant, and you sit up on a stool, and you start to play with the keys. Now, you have a choice. Do you continue or do you not? Do you think? Let's say you did Mozart in another lifetime. You decide, no, in this lifetime you play with the keys, you go pum, plong, pling, plong, 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 and then you promptly get off and go run somewhere else. Never to come back to it again. Do you think? Well, you may have had the talent to be another musical prodigy, but you never chose it. Do you think?